Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down a really powerful framework that's designed to help you navigate the chaos of the financial markets. It's all about swapping out those emotional reactions for a disciplined, repeatable process.
So this is the big question, right? The one every trader has to ask themselves. Is what you're doing an art, driven by gut feelings and intuition, or is it a science, something guided by hard data and clear rules? Honestly, how you answer that can be the difference between steady success and just constant, gut-wrenching stress.
Because let's be real, when your own money is on the line and you're making decisions in the heat of the moment, it feels a lot less like a strategy and a whole lot more like a high-stakes gamble. You're basically being tossed around by fear and greed.
Okay, so let's really get into what that roller coaster feels like. We're going to start by diving into the psychological traps that pop up when you're trading without a solid, pre-written plan.
You know, these are the classics. Sound familiar? You take a loss and immediately jump right back in to try and win it back. That's revenge trading. Or maybe you hit a winning streak and suddenly you feel invincible, so you start trading way too much. Or when the pressure's really on, do you just freeze up? Or even worse, do you throw away the very strategy that was supposed to be your guide? These are the exact things that can sink even the smartest traders. But what if there was a better way? A way to navigate this emotional minefield with a lot more clarity and a lot more control? Well, that's where the solution comes in, thinking systematically. Okay, and this is really the key. Think about it like this. Systematic thinking lets you separate two jobs, the architect and the executor. You, as the architect, get to build the blueprint. You create a set of rules when you're calm and rational. Then, when the markets are going wild, you just switch hats and become the executor. Your only job is to follow the blueprint. It takes all the guesswork out of the equation right when it matters most. So, okay, how does this actually help in practice? Well, a really solid systematic approach is built on 6 foundational benefits, let's call them pillars, that all work together to protect you from the market and, maybe more importantly, from yourself.
First off, and this is huge, it saves your brain power. Instead of trying to process a million different things while a trade is moving against you, you just follow the plan. This frees up so much mental energy and helps you steer clear of that dreaded analysis paralysis, which is basically your brain just shutting down when it gets overwhelmed.
And this is a real game changer. You're creating a feedback loop. Every single trade you make becomes a data point, not some personal victory or failure. You can actually measure what's working and what isn't, and that lets you tweak and improve your strategy over time. It's a cycle of constant improvement.
Think of this as your psychological armor. This system puts up these essential guardrails that keep you on track when your emotions are trying to pull you into a ditch. It's your built-in defense against that urge to chase a hot stock because of greed or panic sell everything when the market dips.
And you know what happens when you have rules? You get consistency, real consistency. You're applying the exact same logic every single time, and that leads to outcomes that are way more predictable. This is how you build genuine confidence, because you know your success is based on a process, not just a lucky guess.
And this is so important. With a system, protecting your capital isn't an afterthought. Nope. It's baked right into the rules from the very beginning. Your position size, your stop loss, where you take profits, it's all defined ahead of time. That means your risk is managed automatically, not based on how you feel in the moment, which is when we all make our worst decisions. And finally, and this is a big one for getting better, when something goes wrong, and it will, you don't have to guess why. Because it's all based on rules, you can go back and find the exact piece of the puzzle that didn't work. A mistake stops being an ego-bruising event and just becomes an unemotional data point, a clear lesson for next time.
Okay, enough theory. Let's make this super clear with a real-world example. A tale of 2 traders, if you will, both facing the exact same high-pressure situation.
So, here's the scenario. A major news event is about to drop. We're talking maximum volatility, maximum uncertainty, the perfect storm to test any trader's approach.
And wow, the difference here is just night and day, isn't it? The non-systematic trader is just reacting, making impulsive, emotional calls, maybe even moving their stop loss around based on pure hope. Meanwhile, the systematic trader is calm. They're just executing a plan they already made. See the difference? One is being controlled by the event. The other is in control of their response. All right, let's take another classic moment, deciding when to actually pull the trigger on a trade. What makes you get in?
You know, the discretionary trader might jump in because, hey, it looks good, or I've just got a feeling about this one. That's totally subjective, and you can't really test it.
But the systematic trader, they're waiting for a specific verifiable signal, like a moving average crossover or a clean breakout. It's objective, it's repeatable, and best of all, you can actually analyze it to see if it works.
Now, a common misconception here is that this is all about turning off your brain and just becoming a robot. But that's not it at all. It's actually about using your brain smarter, in a much more strategic way.
And this brings us back to that crucial distinction, right? You put all your brain power, all your judgment and creativity into the architect phase, designing, testing, and fine-tuning the best system you possibly can. Then, during the execution phase, when you're live trading, you take a step back and you let the system do its job without your emotions getting in the way.
I love this quote from Carly Fiorina because it just nails it. A system is basically a machine that's designed to turn the raw, messy data of the market into useful information. And over time, that information evolves into real, genuine insight.
And look, this isn't just some feel-good theory. It's backed by data. Research out of the University of Cambridge actually found that systematic traders report significantly lower levels of stress, especially when things get choppy, compared to discretionary traders. That structure really does have a calming effect.
So if you remember one thing, it's this. A system doesn't get rid of your intelligence. It channels it where it's most effective. It helps you focus your best thinking on building a great strategy, far away from the heat of the moment, where those costly, impulsive mistakes are made.
So we'll leave you with this to think about. Are you using your best judgment to build a solid process? Or are you letting your in-the-moment feelings constantly override that process? The answer to that question really could be the key to your whole trading future.